Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Man is sailing, synthesizing the demon fruit of the mythical beast species. Qingyun travels through the world of pirates and gains synthesis ability. Among the three options of revolutionary army, navy, and pirates, he makes a choice other than worrying about money and becomes a bounty hunter. After trying many combinations, he turned his gaze to the devil fruit. So, dragon fruit, ancient species, Tyrannosaurus Rex Form, battle fruit, sad-faced dragon fruit, phantom species, battle Tyrannosaurus Form, insect fruit, beetle form, accelerated fruit equals insect fruit, phantom species, Kamen knight armor, battle form, alpaca fruit, slate fruit, sad-face alpaca fruit, phantom beast species, Arceus Form, cat fruit, prop fruit, sad-face cat fruit, phantom beast, Doraemon Form. Qingyun said, this synthesis result is really far from Dapu. P.S. The more flowers there are, the more updates there are. Please have the support of pretty guys and girls. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. It's impossible to travel, as long as I close. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the sea surface. The deep blue sea stirred up waves, repeatedly colliding with the hull of the passenger ship. In addition, there is a pirate ship with a pirate flag hanging high next to the passenger ship, and the two ships are tightly attached at a very close distance. The pirate on this pirate ship threw out a rope hook, which also tightly hooked onto the guardrail of the passenger ship. After seeing their successful action, a group of pirates also quickly climbed up along the hook and rope. A famous pirate had an excited expression on his face. After hijacking this passenger ship, the wealth and jewelry on board could make them rich, and the women on board made them even more excited. In this endless sea, this group of pirates had already been suffocated. I wish I could eat meat on the spot. So as soon as they boarded the ship, their eyes turned green when they saw the woman wearing glamorous clothing on board. The next moment, the killing began on the ship. However, the people on the passenger ship are not vegetarians either. In this era of great pirates, going out to sea requires a lot of preparation, and protection is essential. After all, there are countless pirates on the sea, and if they accidentally fall into their hands, it will not be good. Bang bang bang. On this passenger ship, the captain, holding a musket, led the crew to launch an attack on the pirates. One round after another, bullets poured towards the pirates, and the first few pirates who rushed forward were killed on the spot under such firepower. However, firearms are still firearms, and single-shot filling is too outdated. This filling time is already enough to bring this group of pirates closer to them and launch an attack. Soon, the pirate and the guard got into a fight. At the same time, at a corner of the ship, a man dressed in a black short shirt, short-sleeved casual wear, with medium to long hair and a handsome appearance, stared blankly at the scene before him, his mouth slightly open but unable to speak for a long time. His name is Qingyun. He was still at home the previous second. However, the next second, he appeared on the ship. Subsequently, he saw a ship with a pirate flag fluttering high on its mast approaching the ship he was on, and after throwing out the hook, he boarded the ship, preparing to kill the guests on board. Later, that was the scene of fierce battles between pirates and the guards on the passenger ship. I must have played too many games last night, which made my mental state a bit abnormal. I was at home just now, how could I suddenly come to the sea? Qingyun shook his head and murmured to himself. He just felt that it must have been his overwork that caused such an illusion. As soon as he closed his eyes, counted for 3 seconds, and opened them again, the illusion in front of him would disappear and he would return to his own home. So, he closed his eyes. However, he hasn't counted 3 seconds yet. Suddenly, a crisp sound rang in his ear. Be careful. Later, he felt someone push him, which made him hit the wooden board directly. Pain, pain, pain. Qingyun rubbed his forehead in pain, and the feeling was not very pleasant. But thinking that he had been pushed away, he immediately prepared to curse the other person a few words to vent his anger. But when he saw a large knife that had fallen 1/5 of the deck behind his original position, a chill rose in his heart. If he hadn't been pushed away just now, it was likely that the knife would have gone straight into his body. At this moment, he also dared not regard everything in front of him as an illusion. The pain on his forehead was already a reminder that everything in front of him was real, not an illusion. So, he felt it was really necessary to thank the other person for pushing him away, as they had saved him a small life. Although he is not sure how he actually appeared here. As an old bookworm. He suddenly appeared on this ship, most likely due to his crossing. Thank you, thank you. Qingyun also thanked the person who saved his life. You don't need to be polite. The speaker was a woman, who also got up from herself and quickly picked up the scattered things on the ground. Now, Qingyun also saw clearly the face of the person who saved his life. A very beautiful orange short hair, with bright white skin and a beautiful face, especially on the other person's left arm, there is a clear tattoo pattern that shook Qingyun's whole body, which was extremely unexpected. He has accepted the reality that he should have traveled through. But does this world also have One Piece comics? However, why do some people like to get tattoos from the dragon pirates? With orange hair, this shouldn't be in cosplay, right? Qingyun also murmured a sentence in his mouth. As someone who often watches One Piece, he shouldn't be too familiar with the tattoo on the arm of the person who saved his life. And at this point, the battle on the ship was dominated by pirates, and a pirate also came towards them. After coming over, his eyes also lit up. Woman, you are mine now. The pirate also rushed over eagerly. It was obvious that the woman playing Nami had caused the other party to briefly lose their sanity. Damn it. Seeing this, Qingyun also propped up his hand on the deck and grabbed the big knife inserted on the deck. Now that the pirate had attacked, if he eagerly watched and didn't do anything, it was estimated that he, as a passerby, might have crossed the street in less than an hour before going to the streets. Whether it's survival consciousness or seeing the other party preparing to take action against their life-saving benefactor. His instinct was to move, grab the handle of the big knife, and with a flick, he pulled out the big knife that had been inserted on the deck. Immediately, he also swung it fiercely towards the opponent. Puzzy. The other party clearly did not realize that the seemingly thin and weak person in front of them suddenly erupted and launched an attack on him. This knife struck the opponent's neck, and blood immediately gushed out. The scene was incredibly bloody. For him, it was undoubtedly a very exciting scene. Are you okay? My heart was pounding, but Qingyun still pulled out his big knife from the opponent's neck and turned to ask the life-saving benefactor. I didn't. Run quickly. The woman who played Nami also spoke gratefully. But before she could finish speaking, she saw other pirates paying attention to their situation here and coming towards them. Seeing this, she also didn't care about the unfinished things on the ground. With one hand, she picked up her own bag, and with the other hand, she quickly grabbed Qingyun and pulled him away. And at this point, a line of words suddenly popped up in front of Qingyun. Pickable item detected, do you want to pick it up? See the situation. Qingyun instinctively answered yes. Ding. Successfully picked up. One ordinary physical crystal, one inferior soul crystal, one ordinary physical art crystal, and one ordinary swordsmanship crystal, which have been stored in your personal space. Suddenly, he felt as if he could open an invisible door with just one movement in his heart, feeling like he could retrieve things from outside. He silently recited, "Take it out," in his heart, and the next moment he realized that he had a few more things in his hand, a bit like things the size of mung beans and red beans in his hand. I ran for a while. This ship is no longer safe. There is a spare small boat on board, and I need to run first. Are you planning to come with me or stay? The woman who pulled him for a while and ran into the cabin quickly said to him. Qingyun opened his mouth, but didn't know what to say. He has just crossed over and has no idea what the situation is now. His brain is a bit sticky at the moment. However, the text that just appeared in front of him made him realize that he had suddenly crossed over and did not come empty-handed. He seemed to be carrying a standard gold finger for the protagonist. So, he also opened his right hand in front of him and saw several things in his palm. There are white and green crystals, some of which are the size of red beans, while others are the size of mung beans. But the most crucial thing is, in his sight, corresponding text introductions popped up on these crystals. Ordinary physical surgery crystals. After taking it, it can increase one's own body. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 2. Golden Fingers. Ability Crystal. I really wear. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ordinary Body Crystal. After taking it, it can increase one's physical fitness, or it can be synthesized into higher-level talent crystals from similar talent crystals. Inferior Soul Crystals. After taking it, it can increase one's own soul, or similar talent crystals can be synthesized into higher-level talent crystals. Ordinary Body Technique Crystals. After taking it, you can increase your own body technique level, or you can synthesize similar talent crystals into higher-level talent crystals. Ordinary Kendo Crystals. After taking it, it can increase one's own swordsmanship level, and can also be synthesized into higher-level talent crystals from similar talent crystals. Qingyun glanced over and understood all these words. Can taking crystals by swallowing them improve oneself? A good golden finger. I don't know how the so-called ordinary and inferior levels are divided. He pondered carefully for a moment. It seems that his golden finger sensed his thoughts, so he specifically jumped out. Crystal level. Poor quality, white, normal, green, excellent, blue, rare, purple, excellent, orange, perfect, red, legend, black, epic, gold, mythical, color, dot. 9 levels are directly displayed in front of him. It can be said that it is clear at a glance. Dong dong dong. The sound of heavy and continuous footsteps falling on the deck can be said to be very clear, and Qingyun could hear it very clearly. Some pirates were searching towards them. Upon hearing this, Qingyun didn't hesitate to throw the 4 ability crystals in his hand directly into his mouth. At this moment, he could improve a little, which could be considered a last-minute act of cramming, but he also had no choice. The 4 crystals held in his hands were like hard stones, but after being thrown into his mouth, they turned into flowing water, as if he had taken a sip of cool spring water. He felt a tingling sensation in his body, which lasted for a moment and was very comfortable. His physique improved, and the sense of strength emanating from his whole body was not false. This is the effect that ordinary body crystals bring. He felt as if his soul had gained a sense of transcendence, which could not be described in words. Unfortunately, it only lasted for a moment, and after the ascent, he also felt that his brain was incredibly clear. This is the result of inferior soul crystals. His mind was filled with memories of physical arts, turning him into a fighter apprentice. This is the effect that ordinary surgical crystals bring. His mind was filled with memories of kendo, turning him, who had never studied it before, into a beginner in kendo. This is the effect brought by ordinary kendo crystals. The effects of these crystals have greatly improved Qingyun. Done, it's a bit difficult to run now. But you should be able to deal with these ordinary pirates. The woman who played Nami also looked at him with hopeful eyes and asked. Shoo. Qingyun reached out his index finger and pressed it against his lips, signaling that the other person should not speak. Now they are trapped in the cabin, and the only solution is to deal with these pirates and kill them directly. However, fighting head-on with the enemy is too much for him. From the sound of footsteps alone, he can hear that there are more than one pirate approaching the cabin. So, he can only choose to launch a surprise attack, which is relatively safe and has a higher chance of success. After seeing Qingyun's signal, the woman also closed her mouth. Da-da-da. The sound of footsteps is getting closer and closer. Soon. A figure also stepped into the cabin. At the moment when the other party entered, Qingyun's big knife in his hand swung directly towards him, with a thud. Even though he was on guard, with this sudden move, the pirate was still unable to withstand Qingyun's attack. He was killed in one blow. Shwa. However, the pirate behind this pirate was stunned and quickly reacted after seeing it. He launched an attack on Qingyun with his big knife in his hand. Dang 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 dang. The battle was slightly fierce. The cabin of this passenger ship is large enough for the two of them to carry out their duties. After evading the opponent for a few moves, Qingyun relied on the power he gained from swallowing the crystal to slightly surpass the opponent. After more than 20 moves, he caught the opponent's weakness and quickly struck with a knife. It is to turn the other party into an owl and make them die in the underworld. This also helped Qingyun relax a bit. It was obvious that there were only two pirates entering the cabin, and now he has dealt with both of them, which means they are temporarily safe. Meanwhile, words reappeared in Qingyun's eyes. Pickable item detected, do you want to pick it up? He glanced at it. Pick. I decisively picked up the things. This is his spoils of war, and now the only life-saving straw to get rid of the crisis in front of him is the crystals obtained from these pirates after killing them. Improving one's own strength is the only way to solve this crisis. Ding. Successfully picked up. 2 ordinary physical crystals, 2 ordinary soul crystals, 2 ordinary physical art crystals, and 2 inferior swordsmanship crystals. They have been stored in your personal space. He took out an ordinary physique crystal. Swallow it down. His physique has been improved again, and at the same time, the stamina he expended just now has also been restored. He also looked at the small wound he accidentally cut on his body during the battle with the opponent just now, which has already healed. The stamina consumed will not only improve the body after swallowing the body crystals, but also recover. Even the small injury that was just scratched during the fight has healed directly. After testing the effect, Qingyun also obtained the test results. Such test results. It means that when he fights, he only needs to eat 1 stamina crystal to recover and also enhance his own stamina, which gives him enough endurance. In battle, if one lacks physical strength, it can be very awkward, and if one is not careful, it will be ruined. Your strength is not bad. At this moment, the woman walked over and looked at him with admiration. Having 1 or 2 points of strength is not worth mentioning. Qingyun said humbly. Since you have the strength, let's run together and take care of each other. By the way, my name is Nami, I don't know your name. Nami smiled brightly at Qingyun and put forward her own ideas. Nami. Qingyun's heart thumped for a moment. He always had a guess in his heart, but he just couldn't believe it. But when Nami introduced herself like this, and the tattoo on the other person's arm, which was frantically picking up treasure, he felt that his guess might be true. However, he still needs to ask. Do you know about the dragon pirates? He asked probing questions. However, this question actually made Nami's face change drastically. She instantly distanced herself from Qingyun, took out a dagger from her body, and became wary. Who are you? After wandering on the sea for so many years, Nami has seen too many dangers in the world. When the other party mentioned the dragon pirates, she immediately felt that it was not a coincidence. The other party could not bring it up in front of her for no reason, unless they purposefully approached him, that's why she knew. See the situation. Qingyun also knew he didn't need to continue asking. Such a big reaction. The excited expression on his face made him feel that the other party could never have acted it out. With this acting skill, the other party could have gone and claimed a few little golden figures. So, he really crossed into the world of the One Piece. Difficult to handle. Qingyun felt an unbearable headache. However, at present, he wants to calm down Nami, who is emotionally excited. I saw the tattoo on your arm. If I'm not mistaken, it should be a tattoo from the dragon pirates. Even normal people wouldn't get a tattoo from the pirates, so you should be a member of the dragon pirates. Qingyun quickly came up with an excuse, which was really seamless. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 3. Nami. I don't want to, but he gives. You are listening at novelfull.audio. His words silenced Nami. The excited mood began to calm down. It is obvious that his rhetoric is useful. Nami didn't think there was anything wrong with his statement. Sorry, I'm excited. Nami let go of her guard and apologized. It's okay, let's think of a way to solve the current crisis first. Qingyun waved his hand indifferently and said. Since he knows that the world he has traveled through is the One Piece, he doesn't need to delve into anything at all. After all, he basically understands about 80.9% of the plot in One Piece, so why bother asking more questions? Let's run away together, run to 1 or 2 people. This group of pirates couldn't have caught up specifically, after all, they just grabbed a passenger ship. Nami expressed her attitude directly. If you don't make up your mind, run away. This is her usual style. After all, she doesn't have much strength either. If she doesn't run away in times of trouble, she has already died countless times. I don't think it's necessary to run. Just get rid of this group of pirates and we'll be safe. Qingyun shook his head and refused the other party's proposal. It's not that he's unwilling to accept it, but now that he knows the function of his golden finger, he feels like there's no need to run away. As the saying goes, hold on to the courage, starve to the timidity. Time has come. If you don't have the ability, it's okay to hold back and survive. But all the golden fingers have been delivered. Do we have to take a chance to turn a bicycle into a motorcycle? The effect of his golden fingers, one thing he can be certain of in the short term, is that he needs to kill in order to obtain crystals that can enhance his strength. He naturally cannot target civilians. So, pirates were his best target, and if he ran away now, he would have given up an opportunity to become stronger. Although it was his first time killing someone, he was a bit scared. But the thought of killing a pirate, a miscellaneous matter, greatly reduces the pressure in my heart. However, after solving it, looking at the body again inevitably makes me feel nauseous. Are you crazy? There are at least 20 pirates on this ship now. How can you fight each other alone? Are you going to die? Nami looked at Qingyun incredulously, wondering if the other person's mind was teasing. As the saying goes, the brave win when meeting on a narrow road. Running away is not my style, let alone the word escape in my dictionary. Qingyun said. If you don't run, then I'll run by myself. Na gave him a fair glance and decided not to go crazy with this other person. Wait a minute. Qingyun shouted. What? Regretting it. Nami thought the other party regretted it and changed her mind to run away with her. Although these pirates' strength is not very strong, they still need to have a reward of several million Bailey. If you are willing to stay and help me, after solving this group of pirates, all the reward will belong to you. How about that? Qingyun said. He had just arrived through time and didn't even know the people here. The only one he knew now was Nami in front of him. Even if he wanted to sail on this vast sea, he had to have an excellent navigator. Otherwise, even if he wanted to take an adventure, he could only hesitate. Although the other party is still standing in front of a thief for the sake of Kekiaxi village, leaving the other party by their side may result in losing their treasure. For him, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. Besides, he also knows where Nami's home is. I really need to run. No big deal, find someone to take you over. So he doesn't have to worry about the other person running away either. Upon hearing this, Nami's eyes immediately turned cold. She slipped onto the passenger ship and found out how much the treasure in her hand was worth, at most a few 100,000 belials. She knows the identity of the pirate group who robbed us. After all, if you are at sea and don't understand clearly, then if you encounter a big pirate group one day and she doesn't even know their identity, it will be unlucky. So, she has mostly read the list of pirate bounties in the East China Sea. The Great Sword Pirates, Captain Baruch, bounty. 4.5 million Bailey. Okay, since you're so sincere in asking me to stay, I'll stay and help you. Nami originally wanted to refuse, but she couldn't resist being given too much. 4.5 million Baileys. How long does it take for her to steal it? As long as the other party solves this group of pirates, she won't be able to make a big profit. By the way, my name is Qingyun, Nami. Wishing us a pleasant cooperation. Qingyun said with a smile on his face. What do you want me to do? Nami asked. It's very simple. You go out and bring people over, and then I'll secretly take out the pirates that come in. Come a few more times, reduce their numerical advantage, and then kill them back. Qingyun expressed his thoughts. You want me to be a bait? However, his words widened Nami's eyes and her tone increased significantly. But this is not the key. The key is that the other party actually asked her to use it as bait. Is this still human? Do you understand what it means to cherish fragrance and jade? That's a huge sum of money. It's commonplace for pirates to burn, kill, and loot. Think about it, what if the other party's ship still has something to gain? Maybe there are millions of Bailey, don't you really want it? Qingyun's slightly seductive words fell into Nami's ear. It cannot be denied. She was tempted. If there were still millions of Bailey on the Great Sword pirate ship, she would really make a fortune on this trip. I'll go. Nami's gaze also became incredibly firm. After speaking, she also walked directly towards the outside, using it as a bait for money, nothing. A child can be taught. Qingyun looked at Nami's departing figure with satisfaction. Subsequently, he took out all the remaining crystals, except for one that was not taken from his regular body. Soul. Body technique. Kendo. All three abilities have been improved. The ordinary level ability crystals have greatly improved him, and he can get a very obvious sense of improvement. Only the low-quality level ability crystals have slightly disappointed him. If two low-quality swordsmanship crystals go down, the improvement is really too little. At this point, the sound of panicked footsteps rang out. Qingyun quickly prepared, and it was Nami who brought the people in. The first one to come is Nami. She also knew that she was meant to attract attention, so she didn't run towards Qingyun, but towards the other side of Qingyun, letting the pirates' attention be on him. However, she did indeed do it. The pirates' attention was focused on Nami, completely oblivious to the presence of Qingyun. Afterwards, he boldly wielded his sword. One of the three pirates who came in was seriously injured by Qingyun's chopping. The occurrence of this scene also made the other two pirates panic and forget to counterattack. However, forgetting to counterattack does not mean that Qingyun will forget to attack. Hand up and knife down. Another pirate was solved by Qingyun. Only the last place is left. Bert, Gran, damn it, you shameless guy should have attacked. I'll fight with you. The pirate shouted loudly, waving his machete and falling towards Qingyun. Zhang is chaotic and disorderly, with flaws all over his body. You are too weak. As Qingyun spoke, he split open the opponent's attack with a single blow, and the next blow quickly fell towards them. With a puff, all three pirates were completely destroyed. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 4. Talent, Physique, and Soul, as well as Swords. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Pickable item detected, do you want to pick it up? Yes. Ding. Successfully picked up. 3 ordinary stamina crystals, 3 ordinary soul crystals, 3 ordinary swordsmanship crystals, 3 ordinary physique crystals, and 1 elite talent crystal. It has been stored in your personal space. Talent crystal. The newly released crystal stunned Qingyun for a moment. He quickly took out the crystal from his personal space. A string of text appears along with it. Talent crystal. After taking it, you can increase your own talent level, or you can synthesize similar talent crystals into higher level talent crystals. Glancing over. Does increasing one's own talents include all of them? Qingyun pondered for a moment. But soon he stopped getting entangled on this issue. However, he wants to try synthesizing crystals. The text states that similar crystals can be synthesized to obtain higher level crystals. This is probably the case of 1 + 1 = 2. He already knows about the level of crystals. The ordinary level ability crystals have already brought him significant improvement. If he can synthesize higher level ability crystals, he will definitely receive more improvement after taking them. How to synthesize? This is a bit of a headache for Qingyun, as he has no idea about the synthesis mentioned in the text. Synthesis. Holding 4 ordinary physical crystals in his hand, Qingyun muttered to himself. However, the 4 ordinary physical crystals remained unchanged in his hand and remained the same. Regarding this, without any clue, he could only try and give it a try. He stared tightly at the 4 ordinary physical crystals in his hand, silently synthesizing in his heart. The next moment. Ding. Insufficient synthesis quantity, unable to proceed with synthesis. This text appeared in front of him. The sudden words left Qingyun slightly disappointed. For ordinary body crystals cannot be synthesized, so what he needs should be more ability crystals. It would be great if you could see your own attribute values. Qingyun's heart also sighed with emotion. But in the next moment, his golden fingers were very compatible with him, and rows of text appeared in front of him one after another. Host. Qingyun talent. Civilian level, 0/10, physical fitness. Civilian level, 2 out of 10, soul. Civilian level, February 1st, 10, ability. Civilian level physical skills, 2 out of 10, beginner swordsmanship, 0.2/10, ability crystals. Ordinary body crystals *4, ordinary soul crystals *3, ordinary kendo crystals *3, ordinary body technique crystals *3, elite talent crystals *1. This row of text is his own attribute data. That's it. He has a clear understanding of his own attribute data. This golden finger really works well, but what level is a commoner level, and what level is a beginner in kendo? Qingyun expressed confusion about this level. Of course. The golden finger is still so efficient. As long as he had any doubts in his heart, golden finger would provide him with answers and lines of text would reappear. Talent, physique, and soul levels. Weak level, commoner level, soldier level, sergeant level, captain level, school level, general level, emperor level, god level. Kendo classification. Non-beginner, beginner, apprentice, swordsman, 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 great swordsman, supreme great swordsman, sword god. These 2 levels are divided into 9 levels each. Just like the level of crystals, they are also divided into 9 levels. According to Qingyun's opinion, these 9 levels should be equivalent to each other, but their names are different. Of course. For him who knows the grading, he also has a slight understanding. So my talent, physique, soul, physical skills, and swordsmanship are all at the 2nd level. Too weak, we still need to improve ourselves, at least we have to reach the imperial level. For the situation where his own strength is still somewhat weak, Qingyun himself expressed that he can accept it. After all, he has just traveled through time and these things are among the ranks of ordinary people, which is quite normal. Just by looking at the level, you can tell that the 2nd level is really weak. Even at the soldier level, he is at the 3rd level, which shows that his strength cannot catch up with ordinary soldiers. Let's first improve ourselves. Qingyun thought for a moment, but still didn't dwell on it. Then, he took out all the crystals except for his body, opened his mouth and threw them away, all of which he had eaten. Then he glanced at his attribute data again. After taking crystals with corresponding abilities and attributes, his attribute data also showed an improvement in the following values. There are only attributes in the talent column. Promoted directly from civilian level to soldier level. This is telling Qingyun himself that by taking crystals of the same level, he can directly increase his attribute level to the level of the crystals he is taking. Otherwise, he can only increase it bit by swallowing crystals of the same level until the accumulated value is full. At the same time, the value after the decimal point behind the soul and swordsmanship attributes, according to his speculation, should be the experience he gained from taking a lower level crystal. And this experience bar. It also made Qingyun speculate that the synthesis on the crystal, if he guessed correctly, should be in decimal. After synthesizing 10 crystals of the same level, the next level of crystals can be obtained. Of course. He doesn't know what the use of doing this is either. After all, the experience bar is there. What is the difference between taking it after synthesis and taking it without synthesis? It doesn't seem to make any difference. However, at this moment, a flurry of footsteps sounded. He knew he hadn't thought about these issues in a timely manner. Nami, this is already the 2nd wave of pirates being lured in. See the situation. He first threw a regular physique crystal into his mouth, which melted at the entrance, enhancing his physical strength while also restoring some small wounds on his body and the energy consumed. Little beauty, where else are you running? Be obedient and let's take it. We will love and love you well. Bosai, let me do it first. I haven't touched a woman for a long time. Are you joking? This beautiful woman is much more punctual than the woman on the deck outside. I should have come first. Shut up, who comes first? Do you still need me to say? I'm the oldest, respect the old and love the young. Do you understand? There are obviously many pirates coming in this time. The number is as high as 5 people. After they entered the cabin, their gaze remained fixed on Nami from beginning to end, and any thoughts they held in their minds were very clear to anyone. Holding his breath, Qingyun emerged from behind the cover appropriately at this moment. He holds a big knife in both his left and right hands. This was all taken from the hands of pirates. The body has already been thrown into the corner of the cabin. That's also why these pirates didn't be vigilant immediately after entering. Shwa. Drop both hands together. They were both cut on the necks of these 2 people, and even if they didn't die with this knife, they couldn't react to such injuries. Qingyun can be said to have solved 2 people directly. Subsequently, he withdrew his right-hand knife and continued to swing towards the other 3 pirates. Although he had the swordsmanship ability of a beginner, the effect was only a slight effect. Solving these pirates, whose strength was only at the level of ordinary people, could be said to be easy. Dong dong dong. After a few encounters with him, the remaining 3 pirates also fell to the ground one after another. 1 pirate counts as 1 pirate. All those who were lured by Nami were taken care of by him. This time, it can be said that he solved 5 pirates in one go. He can obtain many ability crystals again to improve himself. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 5. Strength Level Upgrade. Talent, Physique. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Pickable item detected, do you want to pick it up? Yes. Ding. Successfully picked up. 5 ordinary stamina crystals, 5 ordinary soul crystals, 5 ordinary swordsmanship crystals, 5 ordinary physique crystals, and 3 ordinary talent crystals. They have been stored in your personal space. Picking up the ability crystal that fell after killing the pirate again can be said to have gained a wave. This wave of pirates is clearly an outstanding group. At least give him the level of the crystals he has picked up, and none of them are of inferior quality. Now, he already has quite a few crystals in his hand. Ability crystals. Ordinary body crystals *8, ordinary talent crystals *3, ordinary soul crystals *5, ordinary kendo crystals *5, ordinary body art crystals *5 in battle. He took an ordinary stamina crystal to restore his strength and ensure that he had sufficient energy during battles. So, he originally had 4 ordinary body crystals, but now he has 3 ordinary body crystals. However, with the crystal harvest brought by these 5 pirates in his hand, the ordinary physical crystals were reduced from 3 to 8. First, use the crystals that are enough to upgrade by 1 level before proceeding. Qingyun secretly thought in his heart. Now, he has only 3 attributes on hand that can elevate several civilian-level attributes to soldier level, namely, physique, soul, and body technique. Subsequently, he also took out 7 ordinary physical talent crystals, 5 ordinary soul crystals, and 5 ordinary physical skill crystals, and swallowed them in one gulp. Qingyun felt the pleasure brought by the improvement of his body and soul, as well as the corresponding memories brought by the improvement of his physical skills. Body, soul, and technique. These 3 attributes were also upgraded from civilian level to soldier level as the experience bar reached its full value. A significant level of improvement has allowed him to make significant progress. Qingyun also pulled up his clothes and glanced at his abdomen. His 6-pack abs were really good. Soldiers can have such physical strength. This made him really unable to imagine what level of physical fitness those school level, general level, and imperial level soldiers had reached. Nami, don't use it as bait anymore. At this moment, Qingyun also stopped Nami, who was preparing to continue serving as bait. Are you trying to default on your debts and run away? This made Nami feel that Qingyun felt that she might not be able to solve the big sword pirates, so she was ready to run away. But if that's the case, wouldn't her millions of Bailey fly away? How can this be? He can't bear to have such a large amount of Bailey leave him and her. Qingyun, I think you can still persist. For my sake. No, for your justice, you must persist and strive to eliminate all the pirates in the big sword pirates group. Nami quickly persuaded her not to let her Bailey down. Qingyun was momentarily stunned upon hearing this. Alright, Nami, why don't you just shut up? I have no intention of retreating, but you have already lured 2 waves of pirates. If you go over again, they will definitely feel something is wrong, so you don't need to use it as bait. I will personally go over and deal with them. Qingyun also explained the reason to Nami. As for the other party claiming that they are for justice, that's just bullshit. However, everyone has a purpose, and his behavior of not taking a penny or anything is probably in Nami's eyes. In order to continue his behavior against the pirates, it should be for the sake of justice in her heart. Only he knew that he was just for the sake of the crystal. As for the above, he solved a total of 11 pirates. The group of big sword pirates, which was originally only about 20 people, was completely defeated by him after 11 people, leaving only about 10 people. Besides, when fighting with the guards on the passenger ship, some of them also caused casualties. Among the remaining dozen or so pirates, a few died and a few were injured, and the remaining pirates could only fight a few people. He still has an ordinary physical crystal in his hand, and it may be difficult to hit a few at a time, but with this thing in his hand, the probability of him knocking over the opponent is still quite high. Do you have this confidence? Nami looked with a slightly skeptical gaze. Pirates are not vegetarians. In her opinion, the reason why Qingyun was able to solve so many pirates is mostly because she became a bait, combined with a sneak attack from behind, which is why she achieved such results. If it's face-to-face. Can the other party really make it through? If she can't win, then her millions of Bailey will be ruined. Please, now that we are a team, can you have some confidence in my companion? Qingyun said angrily. This teammate is really enough. He was about to go up and fight against the pirates, but you used words to make me have a mentality. If I didn't know who you are, Nami, I would definitely treat you as an undercover agent sent by the enemy. If you're afraid, you can wait here. After I go up and deal with that group of pirates, I'll call you back. After saying a word, Qingyun also picked up a machete from the ground and walked out of the cabin. Who's afraid? Let's go, let's go. I just watched you being chopped to death by a group of pirates today. Upon hearing this, Nami's anger surged up and she immediately spoke to Qingyun with a fit of anger. She followed Qingyun's footsteps and walked out of the cabin. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 6. Hostages. My dad is a naval captain. C. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the deck. More than a dozen pirates showed wild smiles on their faces and emitted arrogant laughter. In front of them, several dozen or so people were tied with ropes, and most of them had frightened faces, with some even crying out of fear. Apart from them, some of the guards who had originally resisted had already fallen to the ground and were killed by the pirates in a battle with them. Some guards were also captured alive and tied to the deck of the passenger ship with these people. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very unlucky to have encountered our great sword pirates team today. I am Captain Beirut. Due to your resistance, my crew sacrificed a few people, which has made me very angry. Now I want to kill a few people to vent my anger. I don't know if you have any objections. Captain Baruch of the Great Sword Pirates also carried a large sword, which was much larger than an ordinary sword. He looked fiercely at the group of people whose lives and deaths were already in his hands, and coldly said words that scared them all. Upon hearing this, No, 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 I can give you money, please let me go. I have money, I also have it. I have a lot of money at home, Captain Beirut. As long as you are willing to let me go, I am willing to go home and bring the money to you. I don't want to die, Dad. I don't want to die. A group of people immediately panicked, some were afraid, some were crying, some wanted to sacrifice their daughter to the pirate to save their lives, some arrogantly revealed their background and let the pirate release them. And so on. The various aspects of life are undoubtedly revealed in these people. Surprisingly, you dare to threaten me. I think we should start with you. Beirut's gaze fell on a man with an arrogant expression who even threatened to let go of him. The man said that his father was a naval captain, and if the other party dared to touch him, his father would definitely make him pay the price. But Baruch doesn't eat this kind of thing. Navy captain. He even came to become a pirate in Beirut, and he still fears the Navy. It's just a joke. No, no, my father is a naval captain. If you touch me, my father will definitely cut you to pieces. The man who was pulled out was scared, but he still used his father as a backing in an attempt to make the other person afraid, and then let himself go. Your father is a naval captain, I'm so scared. The words spoken by Beirut relaxed the man's fearful expression slightly, indicating that it was quite useful to move out his father. The next moment. Brothers, we are pirates, we are not afraid of the Navy. Not afraid. Beirut asked his pirate subordinates a question. A group of pirates also gave a loud answer in unison. This answer. Let the man turn pale. Kid, did you see it? Belluke smiled mockingly at the other person and said, You take Captain's father, it doesn't work with us at all. As he spoke, he also raised his big sword in his hand and swung it towards the man. No, 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 no. The man shouted with a frightened expression. At this moment, he regretted moving out his father to scare and threaten the other party. But his plea for mercy came to an abrupt end. A large amount of blood splattered on the deck of this ship, and a frightened head also landed with a thud. This scene made the pirates laugh heartily. The person who became a hostage in the hands of the pirates was trembling with fear. This group of pirates is really inhumane. However, the next moment. Shoo! A large knife flew straight towards a group of pirates from afar. Ah! A pirate was thrown directly by a large knife, which stabbed him and made him scream in pain. Who? This sudden situation made Beirut's gaze quickly turn towards the direction where the big knife was thrown. A figure caught the eye. Yes, I won. At this moment, Qingyun, who threw the knife, had a smile on his face. Of course, he wouldn't have rushed straight towards the group of pirates from the Great Sword Pirates after coming up. He had dealt with 11 pirates and seized 11 large swords. Unfortunately, the pirate Nami with a musket in his hand didn't lure him over. Otherwise, he would have secretly fired a black gun at the captain of the Great Sword Pirates just now. Go ahead, give it all to me. Then kill this little ghost. Beirut was extremely angry. His subordinates are not many, there are only a few people, one less than one dead. He is a person who wants to grow and strengthen in the pirate industry. Pirates are not a job, but it is not easy to recruit people. In this way, the other party will take care of one of his subordinates. How could he not be angry? Upon hearing this, a group of subordinates also rushed towards Qingyun. Just waiting for you to come over. Watching 8 pirates charging towards him, Qingyun's face did not show any signs of panic. On the contrary, he was very happy. Looking at the approaching pirates, he took out 2 large knives from behind and threw them directly at them like throwing weapons. One after another. It wasn't until 10 of the original 11 knives were thrown out that he finally stopped. But with so many large knives thrown, these pirates are also in a panic and want to dodge. Unable to withstand the distance being too close. Some were directly hit by the big knife thrown by Qingyun, some were lightly injured, and some were seriously injured. Similarly, this behavior also stimulated the pirates, making them furious and eager to chop Qingyun up. But among the 8 pirates, 3 were seriously injured and fell to the ground after winning the bid at close range, and 2 were stabbed in their legs, causing their steps to come to a halt. So, being close to him is just 3 pirates. See the situation. Qingyun rushed up directly. Although beginner-level swordsmanship is not a big deal, it is already more than enough to deal with this group of miscellaneous fish, especially his physique has reached the level of a soldier. Paired up, it is not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. At most, these pirates are just hovering at the regular level. Hand up and knife down. He easily blocked the attacks of these 3 pirates. Next up. He used both his fists and his big knife, and the attacks on these pirates quickly revealed their flaws. He seized the opportunity, struck with one knife, and immediately sent a pirate back to the west. Other pirates are no exception. After a few moves, they also followed their companions on Huangquan Road one after another. Qingyun pursued with victory, and there were also several pirates who were hit by his big sword. After harvesting the heads of these pirates, he was able to obtain a lot of crystals. Damn it, stop it for me. Beirut rushed towards Qingyun, shouting angrily in his mouth. If the other party continues to kill, his great sword pirate squad will really only have a group of remaining soldiers, so of course he wants to stop Qingyun from continuing to slaughter his subordinates. But Shua. Qingyun will not stop his attack, and the quick thing to follow is to harvest the lives of these 5 pirates, and then a few people walk onto the path of the underworld. At this point, the attack of Captain Baruch of the Great Sword Pirates has finally arrived. He lifted the big knife in his hand to block it. Dang! Qingyun was shaken back by the opponent's attack for 2 steps before stabilizing his figure. Looking at the blade of his large knife again, there was already a clear gap, and the opponent's attack was really powerful enough. His gaze towards the other person also became solemn. This is a difficult role to solve. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 7. Nami with a black gun in the back. De Jian Hai. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Die for me. Baruch angrily waved his large sword in his hand, and the air was also howled by the other party's waving. Qingyun can only temporarily avoid the sharpness. At first glance, it was clear that the weight of that big sword was not that simple. It could wield such a heavy sword without being affected, and the opponent's physique may not be the same as him, reaching the level of a soldier. At present, the big knife in his hand is just an ordinary weapon. But the weapons of his opponent in front of him have at least surpassed him by 1 level. How hard he can confront them, he can only seize the opportunity, seize their weaknesses, and then launch a fatal attack on Beirut. Bang! After the large sword wielded by Beirut landed on the deck, it was cut open on the spot. It not only has heavy weight, but also has sharpness that exceeds the response. This time, he is really tricky. Dang 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 dang. Qingyun avoided the opponent's attack, and several collisions on his weapons were caused by him waving his weapon and deflecting it from its original attacking position. He was panting heavily, it was just over a minute of confrontation, and he could clearly feel the rapid depletion of his physical strength. See the situation. He quickly took out ordinary body crystals from his personal space and quickly threw them into his mouth. The entrance of the crystal melts. The effect is almost immediately apparent. That's even in battle. His physique is improving. And physical strength. It is gradually recovering. However, neither improvement nor recovery is significant. Perhaps this is because his stamina has now reached the level of a soldier, so he uses ordinary stamina crystals to improve and restore, and the effect is naturally not as significant as when he was at the normal level. Bug, you're quite good at running, but this ship has already been occupied by me. No matter where you run, you won't escape death. When I completely catch you, Bug, I will definitely break all your bones up and down. Upon seeing Qingyun dodge his attack, Beirut also felt 1 or 2 points of pride and began to speak out in a playful manner towards the other party. Too proud, be careful not to capsize in the sewer. Qingyun sneered disdainfully. Although his life was relatively ordinary before the crossing, he felt that he should be a person with a big heart. After all, if his heart was not big, who could kill a double-digit pirate in less than an hour after the crossing and still want to kill the other person's captain? Bug, miracles cannot happen. Your only fate is to die in my hands. Bang. While Beirut was still speaking, a sudden gunshot rang out, interrupting his subsequent words. At the same time, there was an additional gunshot wound on his body, and blood flowed out of his abdomen. Who? The injured Beirut turned back angrily, however, what he saw was her with orange hair and a gun pointing at him, and a wisp of green smoke rising from the muzzle. It was obvious that she was the one who fired the gun. Nami. Qingyun also noticed. He didn't expect that while he was fighting against Beirut, the other party would actually shoot and help him. Should this be said to be the kindness of the other party or the charm of money? He doesn't know. He is very clear about one thing. Flaws. Beirut's angry look back revealed obvious flaws. Schwa. He immediately swung his knife and chopped it off. Ah. Beirut let out a scream of agony. Take a look. It was Qingyun's knife that directly struck his arm. This strike clearly required a considerable amount of force, almost enough to cut off the opponent's arm. But that's already enough. Because, with a single blow, the pain in the opponent's arm caused him to release the hand that had grabbed the weapon. Qingyun reached out and grabbed the opponent's weapon in his hand, then turned around and slashed fiercely towards Beirut. Puzzy. This time, he not only used all his strength, but also the power of inertia. In addition, the opponent's big sword was indeed full of damage and astonishing power. Take a sharp cut. Beirut's upper and lower bodies have already separated. Ah. Despite such harm, Beirut did not die immediately, but the result was that he clearly felt the intense pain caused by being cut off by his waist. This pain made him want to die immediately. Die. Qingyun stabbed with a sword. This time, it directly penetrated the other person's chest, as well as their heart. It also caused the struggling Beirut to stop his struggling movements. Completely silent. Captain Baruch of the Great Sword Pirates set foot on the path of the underworld. But the pirate crew of the Great Sword Pirates who saw this scene panicked. Captain Beirut is dead, let's run quickly. Get back on the pirate ship, hurry up. Damn it, the man who killed the captain is walking towards us. Let me go first, let me go first, ... The remaining 10 or so pirates also immediately became a mess, competing to return to the pirate ship. But Qingyun won't give them this opportunity. In his eyes, this is not a group of pirates. This is a pile of ability crystals in front of me. So, how could he let these people go? So, he started cutting with his hands. The remaining pirates of the Great Sword Pirate Squad were undoubtedly killed by him one by one, leaving no one behind. After all, it was just a group of injured pirates who no longer had the ability to resist, which made it very easy for Qingyun to take action and solve it. The Great Sword Pirates are completely destroyed. At the same time, after solving this group of pirates, Qingyun finally focused on the words in front of him. Pickable items detected, new book, seeking data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 8. Excellent Talent Crystals. Nami. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pickable item detected, do you want to pick it up? Yes. Ding. Successfully picked up. Ordinary Body Crystal *18, Excellent Body Crystal *1, Ordinary Soul Crystal *18, Excellent Soul Crystal *1, Ordinary Kendo Crystal *8, Excellent Kendo Crystal *1, Ordinary Body Crystal *15, Ordinary Talent Crystal *12, Excellent Talent Crystal *1. Stored in personal space. A total of 19 pirates brought him such a harvest. What surprised Qingyun the most was Captain Belluke of the Great Sword Pirates, who sent him an excellent level talent crystal. This level corresponds to the 5th level captain level, and he didn't expect the opponent's talent to be quite good. But unfortunately, talent is always a natural talent, and if it is killed by him before it is fully discovered, it is considered unlucky for him. If not, with the opponent's talent, as long as he does not die young in the future, reaching the rank of captain should not be a problem. After all, talent determines the upper limit of your effort range. I can't believe you really solved the Big Sword Pirates group. You've made a lot of money now. The bounty for the pirates on this ship is as high as 6 million Bailey. Nami walked over and expressed that she was also quite surprised by such a result. Don't test me anymore. If you agree to give you the bounty and all their treasures, I will do what I say. I am a trustworthy person. Qingyun gave Nami a white glance. How could he not see that the other party deliberately mentioned the bounty in front of him, just to test his thoughts on the bounty of the Great Sword Pirates? After all, he was the pirate who dealt with the entire Big Sword Pirate squad. With such strength in Qingyun, how dare Nami act recklessly? If the other party reneges, she doesn't have the ability to argue with them. Just keep your word, keep your word. Nami also smiled awkwardly. It didn't matter if she tried to probe, but her probing behavior was directly seen through and spoken out by the other party, which made it a bit awkward. Then she also went to handle the body in the past. Although the bloody scenes were disgusting, she had never seen anything during these 8 years of storms. Even if it was disgusting, why endure it for the sake of Bailey? Not long after, while Qingyun was still resting, the captain of this passenger ship also walked over. He had already been untied by Nami, and then he untied the ropes of the other bound people before walking towards Qingyun. Sir, thank you very much for your help. This is our ship's gratitude to you. Please accept it. Captain Gracie said respectfully to Qingyun. In their view, Qingyun is a ruthless character who has overturned the entire Sword Pirates team. If you're not polite, they are really worried about being killed by the other party. After all, strength is only important in this vast sea, and the situation of being robbed by the Sword Pirates team just now has already explained everything. He also took out a stack of Bailey and respectfully handed it over. Okay, then I'll accept it. After taking a glance at the other party, Qingyun also accepted this portion of Bailey. After all, he has only just arrived in this world and can be said to be penniless. He has indeed experienced the financial difficulties several times, which is indeed not very comfortable. After taking this batch of Bailey, Qingyun also ordered a little, about 500,000 Bailey, which is impossible to say much about, but it's also quite a lot. After Belmare adopted 2 daughters, when the dragon pirates arrived, his savings were only 100,000 yuan. So, 500,000 Bailey is not a small amount. Suddenly, he thought of a crucial point. Why did others calculate the Bailey number for this world, and even as he traveled through it, he never noticed one thing. That he and this world did not have any language barriers. 2 different worlds. No language barrier. How could this be possible? The only explanation is, it seems to be the help of the golden finger after crossing over. Qingyun thought for a moment and also came up with the answer. He didn't continue to think too much. After all, it's strange to have traveled through time, even with the presence of golden fingers, to help him solve his language barrier problem. Nami sighed. It took some time. All the bodies of the pirates carrying a naval bounty were collected, while those without the bounty were thrown into the sea to feed the fish. During this period, some of the guests on the ship also helped under Nami's command, allowing her to quickly complete this series of tasks. After finishing these things, Nami just leaned back in. This is the treasure I collected from their pirate ship. There are a total of 3 million Bailey, and this is 1.5 million. Let's split it equally. She took out 1.5 million Bailey from the package filled with money and stuffed it into Qingyun's hand. What do you want to do? Qingyun looked at Nami in great surprise. This didn't fit the other person's personality. 1.5 million Bailey, it was agreed to be given to the other person, but now that the other person said it would be given to him, it would be given to him. So generous. Is there something wrong with the other person's skull? The sum of all the bounty money on the group of pirates outside has reached 6 million Bailey, and I have already received enough, so I'll share it with you. Nami said with a grand expression. The more I hear you say this, the less I believe it. You should be honest. If you don't say it this time, don't say it next time. Qingyun glanced at the 1.5 million Bailey in his hand, looked at the other person in confusion, and said. Is the thief cat so generous? He doesn't quite believe it anyway. So, the other party's generosity must have a purpose. Why don't you know how to beat around the bush at all? Faced with Qingyun's direct question, Nami felt a huge headache, but at this point, she could only express her own purpose directly. Are you interested in becoming a bounty hunter? New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 9. Starting today, be a bounty hunter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bounty hunter. Qingyun frowned and couldn't understand why the other party was saying such things to him. However, after just a little thought, he came up with the answer. Do you want to collaborate with me and share the money together? When the other party raises such a question, it is naturally impossible to be idle and casually talk about topics. With the other party's greedy personality, it is likely because of today's millions of Bailey's harvest, which made her blush. Therefore, she saw that the bounty hunter had a money path, but unfortunately, she did not have this ability, so she set her gaze on herself. You are truly intelligent. Nami smiled and said. For 8 years, she spent a lot of energy on this vast sea to obtain tens of millions of Baileys for the 100 million Baileys. However, after the other party killed a large sword pirate group, it was a bounty of 6 million Baileys, plus 3 million Baileys found on the ship, which was a total income of 9 million Baileys. This made her blush. The thought of killing those pirates with bounty can bring such a harvest. She wished she could become a bounty hunter to earn money. But after wandering on the sea for so many years, she certainly knows her level of strength. She knew very well how terrifying pirates were. So, she took a step back. I've decided to find someone with impressive strength like Qingyun to build a partnership with. It's no big deal, let's share the bounty we earn together. I refuse. Qingyun refused the other party's proposal without hesitation. If he really wants to be a bounty hunter, he can handle it alone and swallow it all by himself. Why do he have to share the money with others? However, the other party's proposal is indeed good. He himself has no idea about becoming a pirate. The Revolutionary Army goes without saying that their lives are extremely difficult. If they follow the dragon, what is the difference between them and the Crow brother? They will starve 9 times in 3 days. Moreover, in the process of rising, a large amount of effort needs to be invested, and the returns will be uncertain. So don't even think about it. As for the Navy, he doesn't really like being bound. Especially with the presence of Golden Finger, with his growth rate and the strength of a general, it is uncertain when he will arrive. As a general, then they will be dispatched by the scumbags of the Tianlong people. Who wants to listen to those scumbags? So, the Navy can also exclude it. So, there are only a few professions available in front of him. Live an ordinary life as an ordinary worker. When you are an adventurer, but in this era where pirates are everywhere, who knows if you raise the flag of an adventure group, the Navy will mistakenly capture you as a pirate. In addition, that's what Nami proposed. Bounty hunter. Undoubtedly, In this world, pirates and the navy are the mainstream, followed by the Revolutionary Army founded by Long Suo. However, the Revolutionary Army established by the other party has no ideological framework, and in the past, it was simply starting from scratch. Moreover, it had to be targeted by the navy and the world government, and it would be troublesome to think about it. Next is the bounty hunter. The bounty hunter undoubtedly had some presence in the early stages of the Pirate King plot. After all, Sauron had also worked as a bounty hunter to make a living. But in the later stages, bounty hunters have almost no living space and can hardly see any trace. However, it cannot be denied that the bounty for pirates is indeed quite high, and the bounty for some people in supernovae adds up to 1 billion belly. It's even said that it will be 2 years later. The pirate groups that can enter the new world are at least characters with a bounty of over 100 million yuan. If it doesn't exceed 1 billion, it's embarrassing to enter the new world. Thinking about it this way, it seems that being a bounty hunter is also good. As long as I have enough strength to go to the new world, at least it will earn billions of Bailey's income. Moreover, I don't have to listen to others' orders, and no one will follow behind me all day shouting to arrest me. Qingyun's eyes lit up. Although this was just Nami's sudden idea of making money, it cannot be denied that this profession sounds like a desirable job in Qingyun. Freedom, and in such an era of great pirates, it can be said that under the premise of having strength, there will be no shortage of money, because a large number of pirates are all his ATM machines. I know how to navigate. Although you have strength, in the open sea, without a navigator, you may not even be able to find your way and starve to death. With me, you will never get lost. I am your good helper. With a partner like me, you really make a lot of money. Nami immediately demonstrated her value. Nami, you're not the only one who knows how to navigate. If I'm willing, I can always use a sum of money to recruit someone who knows how to navigate. Qingyun shook his head and said. Upon hearing this, Nami felt that she had a big head and that the other person was not such a easy-to-fool character. I can also do laundry and cook. People like me who have excellent navigation skills and can do laundry and cook are not many at all. As long as you are willing to cooperate with me, I will take care of all the miscellaneous items on board. I don't have high demands, how about we only have a 5 or 5-point score? Nami extended her palm towards Qingyun with a bright smile on her face. It's quite dark. He only felt that the other party was really malicious. It's not impossible for me to agree. Upon second thought, Qingyun realized that it was not impossible to agree to the other party's request. Feel free to make any requests. Seeing the other party let go, Nami quickly spoke up. You agreed to everything about laundry and cooking, so I won't mention it. But there's one small request. As long as you agree, I don't mind working with you. Qingyun said. You should speak quickly. Nami Dao. Tell me everything about the origin of the dragon pirate's tattoos on your arm. Qingyun glanced at Nami's arm and slowly spoke up. New book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more. Chapter 10. First stop, Rogge Town. Express one's innermost thoughts. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Nami's face stiffened. This requirement. Undoubtedly, it is the other party who allows themselves to reveal their past experiences. Her instinct is to refuse the other party's demands, but when she thinks about today's games, if she becomes a partner with Qingyun, it also indicates that her income will be much higher than her own income as a thief. She can also gather the nearly 100 million Bailey in a short period of time. Don't want to say it. Then please. Qingyun looked at the hesitant expression on the other person's face and knew that he should force them at this moment. Okay, I can agree to your request, but you can't cheat on the agreed 50-50th split. Nami gritted her teeth and said. Of course, I'm not the kind of person you think. Qingyun nodded and said that his character was trustworthy. Of course. As a traveler. How could he not know Nami's life experience? The reason for doing this is just to make the other person open up to him. After all, when he thought of becoming a bounty hunter, his first thought was to make Nami his navigator. Instead of just finding someone unfamiliar to be his navigator, it was better to find someone he knew. At least, Nami only chose to steal money in the early stages to buy the 100 million Bailey needed by the village from the dragon. Such behavior is rarely seen in the later stage. So, a sailor who can only steal his money without harming his life at most, what's to be afraid of? Besides, he still has a golden finger like this in his personal space, wanting to steal money from him. Even if the fourth emperor comes, he cannot do it. He asked the other party to reveal the origin of the dragon pirate's tattoo, which can also be considered as bringing the relationship between the two closer. Of course. It is also not ruled out that the other party wants to use some lies to deceive themselves. If so, his impression of Nami is bound to decline significantly, even if the other party can be considered as his life-saving benefactor when he first traveled. Subsequently, Nami also spoke slowly, recounting her life experiences. She could have only talked about the reason for the dragon pirate's tattoo, but Nami directly told him about her life story from childhood to adulthood. After hearing this, Qingyun was also a bit stunned. Is the other party feeling a bit too emotional? Actually, this was just the vent in Nami's heart that opened up, so she said so much directly to Qingyun. She carried too much and was too oppressive. Along the way, she had not told anyone about what she carried. Some things are suppressed in the heart, and over time, some become like springs. Once the vent is opened, the situation of pouring out everything will occur. So I'm very short of money now. Qingyun, will you help me? After speaking everything out, Nami felt quite at ease in her own heart. Of course. Qingyun nodded. Dao. Then why don't we split the bill? How about we split the bill? Nami's eyes rolled and she suddenly suggested. Upon hearing this, Qingyun's face immediately turned black. Don't even think about it. Saying 5-5 means 5-5. He decisively refused the other party. If I really give you a little color, you will take advantage of it. However, the other party also deserves the reputation of being greedy for money. Whenever there is a chance, they want to pay from him. Money is this thing. Currently, he cares a bit, but not as much. Now he is more concerned about improving his own strength. In the world of pirates, the strong are kings. Even if you have the wealth of the world, if you don't have the strength to hold on to it, these wealth will eventually be taken away by those with the power. So, he is more concerned about strength. If you have the strength, money is not something that can be easily obtained. So he readily agreed to the request to split the bill with Nami. Of course, a graceful lady is a great match for a gentleman. It is undeniable that he still has some hidden desires in his heart. As the saying goes, the moon is first found near the water, and he cooperates with the other party every day. It is only a matter of time before the other party falls into his own hands under his handsome and reader-like appearance. A stingy person. Nami said angrily. This mischievous and playful look from the bottom of her heart, she has not shown it in front of others for a long time. But after venting today, my mood improved a lot, and the result was displayed in front of Qingyun. Just be stingy, it's better than your vampire's 91 cents. Qingyun gave the other person a white glance. Then he also spoke up and asked. Where is the destination of this passenger ship going next? Rogge Town. Nami gave him a direct answer. Is Rogge Town. This place is good, but you can rest assured to exchange the bounty. Upon hearing this, Qingyun also smiled. There are many scumbags in the navy, which is an undeniable fact. And they brought the body of the pirate to exchange for a bounty, which is undoubtedly to test the character of the navy. If they encounter scumbags like the Axe Emperor or Colonel Mouse, it is uncertain that the other party will take the body of the pirate, and the bounty is an act of driving you out without giving you a penny, which may not necessarily happen. So, to exchange the bounty, you also need to choose a place to exchange it. At least, Smog's character can still be trusted, and he is not a pirate, so there is no need to worry about the other party's behavior of not offering a bounty. Regarding the setting of crystals, the author had a different idea before setting it up to be used orally. Also, is the issue of rapid strength improvement. Are excellent talent crystals very strong? Geniuses are innate and also need to be monetized. Luffy must have at least the 4 Emperor's talent. Even if Luffy is killed directly after birth, it is still the 4 Emperor's talent. It has nothing to do with the bounty, but even if he is the protagonist, it takes several years to monetize the talent into strength. Therefore, dropping the excellent talent crystal directly will not affect anything. Therefore, all handsome men and women can rest assured that the strength system will not collapse so easily. The author will try to master the rhythm as much as possible and write interesting works. The content came from New Book, Seeking Data. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the author's writing is decent. You can submit flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The more you submit, the more updates the author will have. Don't be soft-hearted, please submit more.